I'm almost sure you've heard the term iron sharpens iron. Maybe you've heard it from your pastor or from somewhere else. But have you ever stopped to think about what it means? Like, it's easy to just hear it and say, yeah, whatever. But in this video, I'm gonna break down what exactly it means and how we can apply it to our lives. So this saying actually comes from scripture in Proverbs 27:17, where it says, iron sharpens iron and one man sharpens another. So now that we know it's in scripture and not just some ooey gooey motivational quote someone came up with, it's time to listen up, because we know that all scripture has at least something to learn from, according to 2 Timothy 3:16. So now that we know it's time to listen up, let's actually dissect this verse and figure out what it means. So basically what this verse is saying is that you have to sharpen metal with metal, the same material it's made out of. So as Christians, we need to talk to other Christians to help sharpen our faith. We can't talk to unbelievers to help sharpen our faith, if that's our main goal. If we want to preach to them, if we want to try to bring them into Christianity, we can, but if our main goal is to grow our faith, we have to talk to Christians. We can't do it alone. That's like trying to sharpen your knife with air. You can't do that. So you have to be with Christians, not alone, not with unbelievers, but with fellow Christians to sharpen your faith. So talking to other Christians is all fine and dandy, but what we truly need to do is transition that to fellowship, building each other up via that conversation. So how do we do this? Well, first off, we can be accountable to each other. We can say, okay, I want to do my quiet time this many times a week. I want to come to church this many times a month, and be accountable to each other. Make a check-in every single week, every single month, and be like, okay, I did it this many times a week, and that was above my goal. I need to keep on doing this. Or you can be like, okay, I did it this many times a week and it's below my goal. I need to improve next week. So this helps you to just be consistent and not just rely on motivation, but rely on discipline. And you could even start an accountability group chat with with all your friends who are Christians, and be like, okay, we all want to do it this many times a day, this many times a week, whatever. And at the end of each day, at the end of each week, check in and be like, okay, have you done this today? Have you done this week? And you could even set up punishment systems where you have to do 1,000 push-ups if you don't meet your goal that week or whatever. So being accountable is amazing for staying motivated on your quiet time and coming to church and prayer and all that. So you can also set up a system of calling each other out on our sin. So if you see your friend in sin, you could be like, hey bro, don't do that, that's sinful. And you could have him do the same to you whenever he sees you in sin. And you could set up this system of calling each other out so that you can get rid of sin, so that you can get rid of all these bad habits. So something else you can do is start implementing faith-based conversations with other Christians. You can start being like, hey, this is something I learned from the Bible. This is another experience I've had with God. This is some advice that I want to give you to improve your faith. If you start talking about those things instead of talking about video games, then your faith will skyrocket. Doesn't mean you can't talk about those things, but if you want to grow your faith, you want to start implementing some of those topics into your conversations. Yes, Samuel, I know I need to fellowship with other Christians, but I have no one to talk to. So there are tons of different methods to find Christians in your area. First off, you can find a church. Just go to Google Maps and look up churches near me. I'm sure you're going to find tens, if not hundreds of churches in your area. But not every single church preaches the truth about the gospel. So make sure you keep your eyes out and your ears out for at least maybe the first month for things that don't sound quite right. But once you've found a church that you like, most churches have family groups and youth groups that meet consistently. So you can go to those to have additional conversations with other Christians that are like-minded. You can also offer to host things for the church. You can be like, hey, I want to host a game night or a movie night every third Sunday of the month or something like that, or just do it a one-time thing. And if you're willing to put in the effort to set that up, you're going to find a bunch of people to talk to, I'm sure. So what can we take from this? Well, first off, you need to find fellow believers to fellowship with. If you can't find any fellow believers from the methods I've discussed, I'd be very, very surprised. And number two, we need to transition from talking to fellow believers to actually leveraging our relationships for growth in our faith, to actually having fellowship, not just talking. So remember, take action now, not later, and peace out. God bless.